You are about to watch a police officer stop a vehicle, and during the interaction, an individual in the vehicle will identify themselves as the Tampa police chief. And upon hearing this and seeing a badge, a law enforcement badge that the individual presents to him, the officer will allow the vehicle to leave. And I have a lot to say about that, being a retired law enforcement officer. Hello, this is Jason Matthews. I'm a recently retired law enforcement officer. I was also a use of force instructor and a taser instructor during my career. And in this video, I'm going to be commenting on this public domain video that was released out of Florida. I'll be giving you my perspective based on my training and experience and providing you some information that the general public doesn't know about law enforcement. I'll be watching and reacting to what I'm seeing just like you. Stay to the end to watch the full video without commentary. But before we get started, if you support the police, click the like button. And if you do not support the police, click the dislike button. It's anonymous, and I'm just curious of where you stand. Let's go ahead and get started and see what's going to happen.
Old 1050. East Lake Service Road, Woodlands Parkway. It's going to be a golf cart, no tag.
Did you hear what he just said? That officer said he's stopping a golf cart, no tag. What does that mean, first of all? No tag means that the vehicle does not display a license plate. And in most jurisdictions, in most states, any type of vehicle that is driven on a road, on a public road, is required to have a license plate. Many members of the public do not know this or are not aware of this, but that is the case. If you are driving a vehicle on a road, generally speaking, in most areas, you are required to display a regular license plate just as if you were to display on a car. Let's continue.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Good. I'm Deputy Chief of the Sheriff's Office. Stopped you because you driving tag or unregistered vehicle with no tag on it.
A couple things come to mind just watching this. Number one, let me go ahead and reiterate what I just explained. The officer is explaining to this individual who appears to be the operator of this golf cart, of this vehicle. This is a legal vehicle stop because a golf cart is generally, in most places, considered a vehicle. And so he's explaining why he's stopping the individual, because he doesn't have a tag. And also the tag needs to be valid. It cannot be expired. But the second thing I notice is the passenger occupant appears to have something in her hands that I can see already without even watching the rest of the video. It appears she's trying to get attention from the officer to present him with something. And so we're going to find out what that something is, but I can already identify as a law enforcement officer, usually when I see something like this, it is more than likely what we call credentials or a badge, which usually a badge is carried with credentials.
On the roadway.
Yeah, we went to the club. It was closed, so we went over and picked up some.
Is your camera on?
It is.
Is your camera on? That's a really strange question. Most people would not ask whether a police officer's camera is on. So that tells me, that alerts me, if I was this officer, I would be a little suspicious of why someone would ask me that. Now, I would say that in some cases, some members of the public would ask that, but in my experience, in the vast majority of cases, someone would not ask whether my camera is on. And what she's referring to is the body camera. Let's continue.
I'm the police chief in Tampa.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing.
I am the police chief in Tampa. So when someone says something like that, this has happened to me in my career multiple times. And so me, being an ethical, upstanding officer that I am, when someone says that, my very first reaction is a negative reaction, because the message that I believe that you're trying to tell me and send to me is, hey, I'm a law enforcement officer. You should give me special privilege. And me, I would give just the opposite, because I'm a very highly ethical person in general. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. But if someone, the first thing that I hear when I stop a vehicle is I'm a law enforcement officer, or someone shows me a badge, I'm going to go harder on that person, generally speaking. And why is that? Because in most jurisdictions, that's unethical behavior. You're basically telling me that you want special treatment. And I'm not okay with that. I wouldn't do it as an officer if I was off duty. Now, if they ask me specifically something, for example, when I was a law enforcement officer, we have the ability to send a form to the DMV to have our plates blocked. So if someone stops us, then it says law enforcement automatically. So if a law enforcement officer stops another law enforcement officer who's registered in that state, it will come back as law enforcement. And the reason for that is just privacy, so that any person cannot take my license plate number and run it through a database and come up with an answer. But if that's the case, then if I am stopped, then the officer will already know that I am some type of law enforcement officer. However, I would never volunteer that information. Let's continue.
Doing good.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you'll just let us go tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say you. Not to say you look familiar, so.
Yeah, I'm sure I.
So not is she only identifying herself as a law enforcement officer, not only showing the badge, but actually giving the badge to him, and specifically asking if he will let her go or let the vehicle go on her behalf. To me, I don't know what the rules are in Tampa. I don't know what the rules are in Florida specifically, but generally speaking, that's unethical, because she is asking for special treatment based on her position and her position alone. And as law enforcement officers, we are held to a higher standard, and I hold myself to a higher standard. And so I would never allow myself to do something like that for some privilege. And it varies from officer to officer. It varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But that's my line of thinking. And so this has happened to me several times. And the couple times that I can think of, one time I approached a vehicle on a vehicle stop, and the first thing out of the person's mouth was, I'm a police officer from so-and-so city. And he got a ticket from me. That should not be the first words out of your mouth. Now, if it comes up in conversation, okay, that's fine, but that's natural conversation. Another time, another officer, when I stopped him, he was off duty in a personal vehicle also, and he presented his badge to me. Didn't say a word and gave me his badge. And I basically lectured him and told him, that's unethical. You can't do that. And I did let him go, but I let him go very sternly. And I didn't let him go because he was a law enforcement officer. I let him go because I had already decided when I had approached that vehicle that I was probably going to let that person go, no matter who they were. whether they were a law enforcement officer or not, just based on it was a very minor infraction. It was a traffic infraction. And then another time I can think of, I approached a vehicle. This is many, many, many years ago. And the officer flashed his badge at me before I even got to the vehicle. He stuck his hand out the window and he flashed his badge. And I basically told him, guess what? I'm going to let you go now, but I'm going to contact your jurisdiction. I'm going to contact your supervisor and inform them of what you're doing. And this was very early on in my career. So those are 3 examples that I can think of. So this is not going well. The officer, we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's see what happens.
So, all right, folks. Well, have a good night. Staying over here in East Lake Woodlands?
We live in East Lake Woodlands.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you. So, I'm Deputy Jacoby.
Okay.
Same here, my friend.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
All right.
Sorry
Take care.
to bother you.
All right. No worries. No worries. Like I say, we have a lot of problem with the golf carting around here. You know, everybody gets
No,
out.
we don't normally come out.
We
But
never
the club
come
was
out.
closed, so we saw we went up to the Greek place to get some fruit.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right, then we'll take care. And it was nice meeting you.
All right.
Oh, all right.
You ever need anything, call me.
Okay.
Serious.
All right. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. So,
Thank you for your service.
thank you for yours.
Thank
So,
you.
She went even a step further. This is pretty amazing. Not only did she identify herself as a law enforcement officer, she also gave him her badge. And then at the end, she gave him her card and said, if there's anything I can do for you, or whatever she said, I'm paraphrasing, anything I can do for you, let me know. Basically, that's an exchange of favors, or it appears to be an exchange of favors there. And that's not good. That's not good. Let's continue.
Take care.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good night, folks. Hole 3, get 10-8.
So what you heard there was at the end, he said he's 10-8. What does that mean? That means he's basically back in service. He's completed this stop and he's moving on. So he's basically let them go. It could be possibly, I'm not going to put this on the officer because I don't know all of the circumstances here. But like I said, I'm going to give the officer the benefit of the doubt here because, like I said, this has happened to me before and I let someone go under similar circumstances. However, it's a little bit different because the individual who presented the badge in this case is not the operator of the vehicle. In my cases, in all cases in the past where this has happened to me, the person that I either cited or let go was the operator of the vehicle who presented the badge and identified themselves as a law enforcement officer. But like I said, this officer could have, before he even got out of the vehicle, had decided that he's going to make the stop based on a probable cause infraction, talk to the individuals, and then let them go unless there's something more serious that he discovers. I've done that many, many times where I will stop a vehicle and I have the legal right to stop the vehicle, but I had already made up my mind that unless there's something strange, something more serious that I discovered during the stop, I will let that person go. So if he already had decided that he would let them go, then I can understand what he did. And again, the individual with the badge is not the operator. So she did not commit the violation which initiated the vehicle stop. Well, this is a little bit more complicated because she's vouching on behalf of the operator and using that badge, it appears, to have the officer go lighter or allow the operator of the vehicle to go free. In any case, In most jurisdictions, that is an ethical problem. An ethical dilemma could be against policy. And so I'll leave it there and let you decide and comment down below on what you think about this entire situation. Before I play the full video without commentary, if you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released. Share this video with family and friends to help improve their understanding of law enforcement actions as well. Together, we can achieve the goal of understanding and public awareness of police protocol and procedures. Take care and have a great day.
Old 1050. East Lake Service Road, Woodlands Parkway. It's going to be a golf cart, no tag. Good evening.
How you doing?
Good. I'm Deputy Jacoby, the Sheriff's Office. Stopped you because you driving tag or unregistered vehicle with no tag on it on the roadway.
Yeah, we went to the club. It was closed, so we went over and picked up some.
Is your camera on?
It is.
I'm the police chief in Tampa.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
I'm hoping that you'll just let us go tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll say. Now that you say you look familiar, so.
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
Okay. So, all right, folks. Well, have a good night. Staying over here in East Lake Woodlands.
We live in East Lake Woodlands.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to meet you. So, I'm Deputy Jacoby.
Okay.
Same here, my friend.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
All right.
Sorry
Take care.
to bother you.
All right. No worries. No worries. Like I say, we have a lot of problem with the golf carting around here. You know, everybody
No,
gets
we
out.
don't normally come out.
We
but
never
the club
come
was
out.
closed,
We
so we thought we'd
never,
go to the
ever.
Greek place to get some food.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Then we'll take care. And it was nice meeting you.
All right.
Oh. All right.
If you ever need anything, call me.
Okay.
Serious.
All right. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. So.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for yours.
Thank you.
So, take care.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good night, folks. Cold 3 getting 10-8.